guys, just before we get into this episode of Grassroots Racer, I'd like to thank yet another one of my partners, Croft Men's Shoes. Melbourne born and bred, Croft make men's footwear using the finest leathers from around the globe, and their men's range include desert boots, lace-up shoes, slip-on loafers, and more. They take pride in making them the highest standards, and their shoes will go with just about any outfit as they're stylish and modern designs are not only comfortable, but for any man wanting to look his best and stay up to date with the latest fashion, go online, support this great Aussie business, and also check them out on their Facebook and Instagram. Enjoy this episode. And welcome back to another episode of Grassroots Racer. This week I speak to someone who you might not find on the track racing, but she's spent a lot of time at the track and around motorsport, and also volunteering to make sure these racing events can happen as a motorsport marshal. Motorsport events wouldn't happen without all the support from the officials who help and make it happen. So let's find out more. Welcome, Marion. How are you this evening?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining me on the chat tonight. It's awesome to have all sorts of people on here, but let's get right into it. Where did you find your love for motorsport?
From my dad. My dad's now 86 and still running Speedway in Victoria, and yeah, live it, breathe it.
So your dad used to race Speedway and still does. Did you ever race yourself?
No, I've never had the opportunity to race at all. I'd rather help out.
Yeah, so what's your favourite part about watching your dad?
Just being at the track.
Yeah.
I crewed for him and helped out for a long time and just love being at a track. He's been racing for, I'm on the older side, all my life, and then he retired for a little while. Now he's back running vintage sprint cars out of Melbourne.
Yeah, so when did you say you started racing?
My dad was racing when I was well before me. I was about 3 or 4, 1962.
Yeah.
And he ran out of Melbourne.
So he races a Chevy sprint car from what it looks like here. And it looks very classical. Mm-hmm. Do you know if there's a reason behind the number 2?
It's actually called Tassie 2, and it comes out of Tasmania and has a long history in Tasmania.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And do you know how long he's raced it for, actually?
He's probably had that nearly 10 years, I would say. He's had it for that particular car a while.
He's raced at many speedway tracks like Rushworth, Brooklyn, even in Newcastle, Canberra, Murray Bridge, and the old track of the 𝘵𝘠𝘏 Showgrounds. I would have loved to watch that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I live really close to the 𝘵𝘏𝘏 Showgrounds actually, and I don't ever remember going to the speedway, but I always wanted to go. Now that I look at it, yeah, it's really cool. Have you ever been to the ones in 𝘵𝘏𝘏?
Yes, many times. Yeah, because I crewed for my dad for quite a few years, and we were inseparable, and I went everywhere with him to crew.
Yeah, he's won 4 Victorian hot rod titles in his career, so that's been sort of pretty good, if you ask me.
So they were all in the hot rod. In number 39. That's his life number.
Do you know why there's a reason for that, or?
No, the car was just always called 39 right through. He had hot rods, saloon cars, always 39.
And have you missed not being at the track yourself during COVID restrictions?
We haven't had a lot, whether we've raced dirt bikes or cars, we sort of managed to get through most of it.
Well, you said you'd like to volunteer. It's great to have volunteers who support racing, as they don't always get as much attention as the drivers and the teams. So how did you get into, volunteering and marshalling?
I moved from Victoria to Queensland and followed Speedway up here, and then thought, well, there's got to be something I can do up here, and then joined a club, and then I just help out wherever I can now.
Yeah, so you mentioned to me before that you've been doing it for a while. What tracks have you been to, and which one was your favourite?
For V8 supercars, it's Darwin. It's an awesome track. Bathurst, that's a pretty cool track. They're the highlight ones.
And have you got any other favourites that you'd like to mention? Or even, where does your dad race speedway normally?
My dad's now in country Victoria, like Warrnambool Speedway. That's a really awesome track to go and see up here. There's Archerfield. Toowoomba's awesome. There's some really good race tracks out there, whether it's dirt or road.
Yeah, so you've been marshalling for a little while. So what's the most memorable thing you've seen as a marshal, because you're right up close to the action?
Every race is different. And every racetrack's different. Some of the cool cars, and just being there is pretty cool, and the people you get to meet.
Have you got any favourite on-track moments or something happening in front of you and you were just like, wow?
We all have that one crash or something like that. Yeah. It's hard to describe because every racetrack or every race has an on-track wow moment. Or when you see your dad win a title, or somebody actually win a big race, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely would be. Do you have a favourite motorsport category?
I have a favourite driver, but that sprint car is Robbie Farr's my favourite sprint car driver. I actually went down to do the two-seater at Parramatta before Parramatta got closed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, tell me more about that. That sounds really interesting.
Oh, it is awesome to get in the back of a sprint car and go around Parramatta, which is an icon of the track.
Do you remember what it felt like? Did you want to throw up, or did you get chills, or what was it like?
I just screamed the whole way. It was so exciting. It's a ride of a lifetime, really.
Is there anyone that you've met while marshalling that really stood out to you?
Dick Johnson, I met at a hill climb last year. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
his grandson was racing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dick Johnson racing, and I love seeing those guys always up the front. Do you have a favourite V8 supercar team, maybe like DJR?
Well, I'd have to say at this stage, Cool Drive. I actually work for Cool Drive itself up here in Brisbane. So the Blanchard, and I've met all the Blanchard family. They're pretty cool people. And Tim's a good driver this year, so we'll just have to wait and see how they go.
Yeah, he definitely performed really well at Bathurst up until his unfortunate incident. But as me and Dad was saying when we were watching all the races, this is only their first year, so there's probably definitely more to come. But did you ever work in the race team or just at Cool Drive itself?
Just Cool Drive itself up here in Brisbane. And yeah, because I worked up here, went to Melbourne for a stint, and then come back up here, and Tim was working up here. So yeah, got to meet him a few times.
So for anyone out there who's ever thought of volunteering at a motorsport event, so what's involved in becoming a marshal or official?
It's depending on which way you want to go. Like for V8 supercars, you go through Motorsport Australia. And otherwise, if you want to do just local stuff, like I do, it's Queensland Raceway, Lakeside International. Yeah, you just contact them.
Yeah, it's I love driving myself, and I have to respect the marshals and officials who officiate. So I really do thank you guys. Do you have a dream car that you'd like to own one day, maybe?
Oh, that's hard because there's so many nice ones out there. It's like, yeah, I like a Porsche.
No, actually, that's all right. But have you got anyone that you'd like to thank or acknowledge that you've met at the track or who's helped you through motorsport?
All the people that I volunteer with or help out, like Sunshine Coast, North Brisbane Junior, we're just one big family. Everybody just helps themselves, and we're just one big family.
Yeah, I have to admit the motorsport community is a very great place. It's great to see that some motorsport events have actually started up again, and recently, but then we go back into lockdown. So do you know when your next event will be?
We lost last weekend. The event's back this weekend. There's bikes out at Lakeside, and yeah, we sort of really haven't stopped.
Thanks for joining me tonight, Marion. It's been great speaking to you and hearing about your experiences and the love of motorsport. It's fantastic to have people like yourself who volunteer your time to make sure drivers like me can go racing. And for anyone out there who's ever thought about helping out, get in touch with your local karting, speedway, or any motorsport clubs. And remember, if you're driving this weekend, drive fast and take chances, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marion.